So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah.
Walaikum assalam.
Brothers, it's a great opportunity for us to be joining today for a webinar, which is a simple topic, which is on goal setting, but definitely this has a prime importance in what we do every day. So today we have our brother engineer Askar Ali Khan, and he is going to take us through the goal setting on how do we make our plans to the action, and then we reap the benefits of whatever we have planned and took the actions. So this is all about goal setting. Just to give you a background about engineer Askar Ali Khan, who don't know him, he is mashallah based in Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia, and he is into his own business activities. He is also a trainer, a coach in terms of, and a motivational speaker, a Toastmaster, and he has been into many other topics. We jointly, myself and engineer Askar, we have delivered some programs to the community here in Jeddah and some of the corporate companies also, especially on the 7 habits of highly effective people. And today he is on to a new topic, which is on goal setting. And I would request him to give more background about him so that we will be catching up on our time also. Before we begin, also let us hear what All India Islahi Center is all about. And I request Brother Samir to take us through the background and a brief intro of All India Islahi Center. So, Brother Samir.
Thank you, President Siraj, and I welcome you all for this session. All India Islahi Center, Jeddah, was formally started during the year 2015 under the umbrella of Indian Islahi Center, Jeddah, which has an history of around 35 years. Under All India Islahi Center, we do 2 activities, that is activities in Jeddah and activities back in India. Activities in Jeddah, we have Al-Huda English Madrasa for children, which is running very good now. Still, during this time of COVID, they are having online classes and it's moving ahead with that. Secondly, we have Understand Quran, that is QCC, Quran Certificate Course. And we have weekly Quran classes, leadership programs, self-development programs, and so on. Along with this, we have ongoing workshops for 7 habits, Discover Yourself, My Mohalla, My Dream. That was one done with the help of CG. And more than that, we have always conducting an edutainment. Edutainment is a family meet that we do it yearly in some istiraha, where all the members of the families get united together one day out, and with all of them, with the kids, the gents, the ladies, all will be having their own type of entertainment separately. This year, we are not able to do this since the outbreak of COVID-19. However, we look forward for this as such activities in near future. Now, regarding the activities that we do back in India, activities in India are mostly targeted towards the north of India, like places like Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. It mostly consists of educational support and the social welfare programs. Through educational projects, we are able to support till now 4 schools in the remote places of Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. In these places, as you know, it's very remotely and it's in completely village. It's really a challenge for those small kids to go to the school. Coming from poor family, poor background, they don't have to go to the school. They have to travel back long distance to go to some better schools. So currently, accordingly, we have started 4 schools that's supporting the students, and it's running very good, but still because of the COVID situation, it's been on hold, and we are trying our best to find out the alternatives, how we could support them by doing online classes or something like that. And for this school project, we have our mission. Our mission is something like 100 schools with during the 100 years of freedom. That is like 2047. We should have almost 100 schools supported by All India Islamic Center. Inshallah, we will get that. More than that, in the social welfare projects, we are concentrating on providing drinking water through the villages by digging bore wells. These villages, it's really hard to get water since they have to travel long distances to get some water for the daily uses. So for this, we started digging bore wells. We have covered almost all the area of Jharkhand. Now we shifted our attention towards the West Bengal. And moreover, I think by next coming year, we will be shifting back to Rajasthan, where they have issues of water still going on. Till now, we did more than 100 bore wells. That's something we have to learn about ourselves. And more than that, we are providing goats in pairs to the downtrodden people or to the widowers there. Till now, we can say that almost we have provided 300 pairs of goat, and we have been looking out for this to see that how they are handling the goats. We have our own leaders back to watch out for them. And during this lockdown time, we provided ration kits to almost 100 families, which was benefited to almost like 900 persons. And that also was in West Bengal. So I think, Alhamdulillah, with this, to move forward, we need your support and participation and prayers. Now, I would like to invite our speaker, Asghar Ali Khan, to put a light on his talk, goal settings. Asghar Ali Khan.
Yes, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, right? It is a very nice thing to know that you are on the journey of meeting your goals, All India Islahi Center. Now, in this talk of mine, what we will be discussing about is on the principles of goal setting. Goals can be different for different people. Goals can be personal, they can be professional, they can be organizational, they can be based on a community level. So goals can be on different levels. No matter what, right? Goals are important. Why? If I could convey one thought that would help you become more successful, it would be this: write down your goals, make plans to achieve them, and work on your plans every single day. But the question is, why goals? It is because success is goals and all else is commentary. Many thousands of people, successful in their respective fields, they were asked, what is it that they think about most of the time? So almost all the successful people, they gave a common answer. They said that we think about what we want and how to accomplish it most of the time. So successful people always focus on what they want and how to achieve it. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, you become what you think about all day long. So one of the criteria of success, of attaining success, is to identify the goal that you want and work towards those goals. Goals give us a direction to move. As Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, the great thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. So goals give us the direction to move. When we set goals, we know where we are heading towards. And when we have this, living life without, no matter how well engineered your car is, how powerful your car is, you will still drive slowly, hesitantly, even in the smoothest of roads. But when you set goals, it clears the path of your life, and you can now know the direction in which you have to head. You can put your leg on the accelerator of your life and work on your abilities and your potentials in order to progress in your life. So goals give us a direction to move. Without goals, even if we move, we will be moving very slowly, hesitantly, not exactly knowing where we want to head. Goals give us happiness, or happiness requires goal setting. As Earl Nightingale, he once said, happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal or goal. When we feel happy, right, we feel happy when we keep moving towards something that we want. As Viktor Frankl once said, the greatest need of human being is for a sense of meaning and purpose in life, for a goal to work towards. So this is a very important statement, a meaning and a purpose in life. How will you find meaning and purpose in life if you really don't know what is it that you want in life? So by setting a goal, you actually develop a sense of meaning for your work. You get to determine what is it that you really want in life. And when you progress step by step towards getting the things that you really want to get in life, you develop a sense of happiness in you. And when you are happy, you become more confident in setting higher goals for your life. So you see how important goal setting is. And when you set goals, it will help you to overcome any obstacles. Because only when you set goals, you will be able to determine what is it that's stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve. So as a result of which, you will try to overcome those obstacles. And when you try to overcome obstacles, what happens? You are actually stretching yourself. You are actually moving out of your comfort zone in order to overcome those obstacles. And when you overcome these obstacles, you come up renewed with new potential, new strengths to face more challenges. And this is not possible if you do not know where you are heading. This is not possible if you do not know what is it that you want. And when you do not know what is it that you want, how will you know what is an obstacle and what is not an obstacle? You will not know what is it that you have to stand for. As a saying, as someone said, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So goals help you to determine what is it that you have to stand for on an individual level, or on an organizational level, on a community level, on a professional level. So understand the importance of goals. Now, once you set goals, you actually take charge of your life. You become more responsible in achieving your goals. As Alexander Graham Bell, he once said, a man as a general rule owes very little to what he's born with. A man is what he makes of himself. So this goal setting develops a sense of responsibility to achieve your goals. So you see how important the goal setting process is. But if goals are very important, no matter what your life's calling is, no matter what your profession is, whether you are a student or an engineer or a doctor, or whether you're the leader of a community, whatever, you have to set one common goal for each and every human being. The goal to fight or overcome our worst enemies. And what are our worst enemies? Our negative emotions. So a common fundamental goal that every human must set is to overcome their negative emotions. Because whether you are a student or whether you are an engineer or a doctor or a leader of an organization or a corporate, as a human being, you need to overcome these negative emotions. Negative emotions like fear of failure, like self-pity, like ego, like feelings of inferiority complex, jealousy, anger. So each of the human beings, somewhere or the other, at some point of the other, to some degree or the other, will have these negative emotions. So we need to overcome these negative emotions, to set a goal to overcome these negative emotions, because these negative emotions will stop us, will inhibit us from achieving, from going where we want to go, from accomplishing what we want to accomplish. The root causes for all these negative emotions, once we identify them, we can easily overcome them. The root causes are justification. Now look, for example, if you think about the instances whenever you were angry at somebody, the more you justified your anger, the longer you were angry at that person. Isn't it? So our justification feeds our negative emotions. So our goal would be now to overcome these justifications, to stop justifying, as a result of which our negative emotions will subside. This is just a brief I'm giving you because we have a detailed workshop on all these things, how to overcome these things. This is, you can say, the bullet points, right, of knowing us one step towards a journey of 1,000 miles. Then we have rationalization. The more we try to rationalize and reason out why we are jealous of somebody, right, the more our negative emotions grow. So we need to stop rationalizing about our anger, stop rationalizing about our jealousy, right, of our envy, of our self-pity. The third is hypersensitivity. It is about worrying about what people think about me. So when you are hypersensitive towards the opinions of others about you, what happens? You become insecure. Your self-worth is now dependent upon somebody else's opinion about you. You are always worried about what is it that others are thinking about you. But actually, if you really think deeper, nobody is thinking about you. Everybody is busy in their own lives. So we need to stop being hypersensitive and develop an internal security in ourselves in order to overcome the self-pity and the negative emotions of self-pity and inferiority complex. And the worst of all is blaming. And our goal is to overcome the blaming mentality that we might have developed over periods of time. Because when you blame somebody, what is happening is actually you are empowering others' weaknesses to control you. You are letting other people control you when you blame. When you blame, you are actually giving away your responsibility of development. You are saying, because of that person, I am like this. So as long as you are in this blaming mode, it becomes very difficult to overcome our negative emotions. So we need to stop blaming. One of the essence of being proactive, that we stop blaming. Whenever you think that the problem is out there, that thought is the problem. And the antidote for all these negative emotions is, if this was a live workshop, maybe we could have been more interactive, but the antidote is taking responsibility for our own actions, being proactive. Right? Now, once we start taking responsibility to ourselves, once you know that you are the one who are responsible for your actions, you are responsible for what you do, you are responsible for the consequences that you face for the actions that you have chosen to do, then you will stop blaming. Then you will stop justifying. You will stop rationalizing. And you will not worry about what is the opinion of other people. So the antidote for all these negative emotions is to take charge of your life, is to take responsibility for your actions. It is this, the absence of taking responsibility, that many people don't set goals. They think it is not their responsibility to set goals. So what happens? They live lives without even actually knowing where they are heading. As a result of which, they develop frustration. Because when you don't know where you're heading, you will not know whether you are progressing or not. And if you are not progressing, you will not feel a sense of happiness, because happiness is got by the realization that you are progressing towards something that you want. So develop a sense of responsibility and control your emotions. In order to start the goal setting process, you need to understand that you have unlimited potential. Each one of us. As William James, a world-renowned psychologist, he said that every human being lives far below, or leads their life far below than the actual potential they have. Now, that's a great discovery in psychology now. He says that every single human being leads their life with far below potential than what they have. That means the potential that we have is far away greater than what we are actually doing. We need to realize this, that we have unlimited potential within ourselves. But this potential within ourselves is covered, is marred, is coated by all these negative emotions that we just spoke about. Like the fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, as a result of which we don't try to utilize the potential within us. As someone asked Michelangelo, Michelangelo, the great artist who carved the statue of David in Vatican. Someone asked Michelangelo when he carved out the statue of David, he said, how were you able to carve out the statue of David from this rock? So Michelangelo, he replied that David was already in the rock I only chiseled out what was not David. So like that, each and every single individual has tremendous potential in it, in him or her. But this potential has been covered with negative emotions. We need to chisel out these negative emotions, and then we can see the true potential of ours, which comes out in a glorious fashion. So realize, no matter what your goals are, before you even set on the journey to move out, that you have unlimited potential in you. And you have to take complete responsibility to materialize this potential. Nobody else is responsible to enhance your potential. What others can do is create an environment, provide you resources to enhance your potential. But ultimately, it's you who have to take charge of your lives. It is you who have to change. Because as Marilyn Ferguson once said, no one can persuade another to change. Each one of us guards a gate of change that can be opened only from the inside. We cannot open the gate of another either by argument or by emotional appeal. So it is ultimately you who have to decide to change. It is you who have to decide to work on the potential, the tremendous potentialities that you have within you. And it is you who have to take charge of your responsibilities. And once you have realized these two things, that I have tremendous potential in me and I am responsible for my own growth, then you start on the process of determining your goals. I think somebody's mic is unmuted. If you can please. Mr. Siraj or Samir or whoever is here.
Yes, we have done it. You can continue, please.
Yeah, because that, Okay. So is everybody with me? Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll keep talking and then maybe the mic is muted. Okay, so now determine your true goals. How do we go about determining our true goals? There are 7 keys to goal setting. No matter what your goals are, your goal may be to reduce your weight. Your goal may be to increase your financial status. Your goal may be to have a good family relationship, strong bonds in a family relationship. Your goal as an organization may be to accomplish certain profit margins. Your goal may be anything, right? Your goal may be to even read and complete a book. Your goal may be to score certain marks in your examination. Right? Whatever your goals are, these 7 keys to goal setting are common. What is it? Let's analyze and try to understand these. Number 1, the first key to goal setting is your goals must be clear, specific, detailed, and written. It must be very clear. You must be very clear as to what is it that you want. You must be very specific, and it must be detailed. You must be able to describe it, and it must be written. For example, I want to be happy. It's not a goal. It's not very specific. What makes you happy? You see, there are so many questions that come up, right? I want to reduce my weight. Okay, but can you be more specific? Are you getting the point? Of course, I'm not expecting a reply from you. If it was on live scenario, maybe yes, right? And it must be detailed. Be more detailed as much as possible with the goal that you want. And written. This is something that most of us overlook. Write down your goals. Remember my advice when I started off, that I would like to advise you with one thing: write down your goals. I did not say have goals. I said write down your goals. Why? Because most of us, most of the time, do not get into this activity of writing down what is it that we want. And writing is a psychoneuromotor skill. And of course, psychologists explain tremendous advantages of writing it down. You know, they even explain that writing with a pen is far more better than typing on a laptop or on a tablet. And there are a lot of neurological functions happening in the brain when you write down. The platform does not permit to get into those details. So nevertheless, the first key is your goals must be clear, must be specific, must be detailed, and must be written. This, do not forget this, because a goal not written is merely a wish, and it's easy to be forgotten. So write it down. The second key is it must be measurable and objective. I want to lose weight. Not good enough. I want to lose weight by 5 kilos. Now that is something that I can measure whether I have lost 5 kilos or not. So it must be measurable and it must be objective. Objective means that somebody else must be able to evaluate your goal. Somebody else must be able to say that, yes, you have achieved your goal. Now, if I say I want to lose 5 kilos of weight and I indeed have lost 5 kilos of weight, then somebody can look at me and say that, yes, okay, you were 45, now you're 40. Now, it doesn't mean I'm 45, but you were 45 and now you're 40. So therefore you have met your goal. Now this is a third party validating whether I have achieved it or not. So goals must be measurable and they must be objective. Now look, this does not apply to any one particular goal. It can be to any goal. The third is time bounded. So you must set deadlines and sub deadlines and schedules to achieve your goals. I must lose 3 kgs from 50 kilos to 47 kilos. Okay. By when? Maybe in 20 years' time. That's not really time bound. Maybe in a month's time, in a 2 months' time. So now your goal is time bound. You know by when you have to achieve it. So deadlines are very important. Deadlines give you that time-bounded nature for your goal. It is said that there are no unrealistic goals. There are only unrealistic deadlines. Now, if you want to improve your financial situation, your goal could be that I would be earning an X amount of money by the end of December 2021. Now that could be a time-bound X amount of money, measurable goal, specific. I'll be increasing my income by doing such and such a thing. And you write it down. So the keys, time-bound. Fourth, it must be challenging. Your goals must be able to stretch you. Your goals must be something that you have not already achieved in the past. Something that helps you to come out of your comfort zone. Something that puts you in a stress of going for it. Because when you stretch yourself, you increase your potentialities. When you stretch yourself, you actually realize what you are capable of doing. Because when you have to achieve something that you have not achieved before, remember, this is a very important thing regarding the goals being challenging, that your goals must have a probability of 50% success. That means you have to strive in such a way that your goal is something that you have not really achieved before. There are chances that you will fail, but still you will stretch yourself in order to see whether you'll get it or not. So in this way, what happens? When you go for something, or if you have to go for achieving something that you have not achieved before, you have to do something that you have not done before. So your goals, if they are challenging, they help you to realize your true abilities. They help you to realize what potentialities you actually have. And you must have experienced this in your life too. So the fifth key is your goals must be congruent with your values. Because if you have conflicting goals, that means something that you want to do, but internally you don't value that thing. Your values are different. Then what happens? You develop frustration. You develop stress. You develop dissatisfaction. And the fundamental characteristic of values is integrity. And integrity is when your actions, your outward actions, when they are in line with your internal values, what happens? You develop a sense of self-esteem. You develop integrity. It is, in other words, walking your talk. When you walk your talk, what happens? You feel good about it. You feel an internal peace in you. So when you set goals, make sure that your goals are in line with the values that you have, with the values that you uphold. And your goals must be balanced with respect to your career and your business, with respect to your family relationships, your financial status. So it's not that you only have a goal which tilts you in one direction and you forget about the rest of your life. With regards to balance, you can think like this. Imagine that only our head grows for 1 year. Our hands and legs do not grow. Only our head keeps growing. Or imagine that only our hands grow 1 year. All the rest of the organs remain the same. The following year, the legs grow. The following year, the heads grow. Will we be functional? No, we will not be functional. Although we are growing, but yet we will not be functional. For us to be functional, we have to grow proportionally. We have to grow in a balanced way. Similarly, for us to grow in terms of goal setting, our goals must be balanced between our career and the business, our family lives, our professional lives, our financial lives, our community involvement. So it must be balanced in all directions. And your goal, the seventh key, is to come up with a major definite purpose. So identify what is it that you really, really want in life. Because your goal, this one definite purpose, serves as the umbrella for all the other goals that you set. And as Muslims, this is very easy for us. That one major definite purpose. Allah himself has already said it in the Quran. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We have created mankind and jinns for our worship. So this is that umbrella goal, that major definite purpose. And any other goal that we set must fall within this major definite purpose. So then life becomes peaceful. Life would become, meaningful, because all the other goals are under this umbrella goal. Under this major umbrella goal, you may have smaller umbrella goals. So identify what is that major definite purpose with regards to your life I'm talking about over here. So this is very important. These are the 7 keys that you need to keep in mind when you come up with goal setting. But these are only the keys. What is the method? How do we go about setting goals? Okay, I know the goal has to be specific. Okay, I wrote down that this is the specific goal. I know it's measurable and objective. I know it's time bound. I know it's challenging because I've never done this before. Okay, I know what my values are and my goals are in congruence with my values. Okay, now how do we go about achieving these goals? So there are 12 steps in order to achieve your goals, no matter what your goals are. Some of them may be identical to the keys itself, but let us see. First thing, the first step is have a desire. What is it that you really want? Because no matter what goal you set, if you do not have a burning desire in you to achieve that goal, you will not put in your fullest efforts to achieve that goal. That's common sense. So the first step is you have to have a burning desire in you to achieve the goal. As Napoleon Hill, he once said, for a person to win, he must possess one quality, and that is a major definite purpose, the knowledge of how to achieve it, and the burning desire to possess it. Now, you must have come across many people. They have a wish that they reduce their weight, health conscious. You will never come across a person who says that I'm not conscious of my health. Everybody wants to be conscious of their health. If they think they're overweight, they want to reduce their weight. But you see, they start and they may stop. They give up. One of the reasons is that they don't have this burning desire in them to really do what they want to do. So first step is when you set a goal, you must see what is that level of desire that you have in you to achieve that goal. The second step is believe that your goal is achievable. So when you have set a goal, you must be confident that yes, it is in my capacity to achieve it. I can do it. Because if you don't have this mindset that I can do it, right, you are not going to try hard enough. You are going to try only to the extent where you will face some trouble. And the moment you face trouble, you will give up. So unless you have that firm belief in you, that faith in you that this goal that I have set, I can achieve it, right, you will not be consistently working towards it. So believe that your goal is achievable. The third step, as we said, write down your goal. It is said that a difference between a goal and a wish is that a goal is written and a wish is not. So when you write down, you give a stimulus to your mind to work on it. You are actually, there's a whole literature on how our subconscious mind works. That is like you're giving a command to your subconscious mind, right, to start working on it. So write down your goals. Whatever your goals are, make it a habit that you write down your goal. The fourth step is determine your starting point. Because, this is very easy for us to understand in today's time. Whenever you want to start a GPS to move to some location, what is the first thing it asks? Where are you? Because it guides you to the place where you want to go by determining where you are right now. Because without knowing where you are, you may not have the correct directions to go to where you want to go. So determine your starting point. Okay, I want to set a goal of, say, enhance my financial status, my financial income. So today, as of now, what is my financial status? You need to take stock of that. If I'm earning 5,000 riyals a month, okay, that's my financial status. That's my starting point. Now, by December 2021, I want to increase my income to 7,000 riyals. Because your goals must also be realistic, right? Or maybe I want to double my income to 10,000 riyals. So unless you know your starting point, you will not be very effective in setting goals, or your goals will not be effective. So determine where you are. And in order to determine where you are, you need to be really honest with your own self. You need to really understand your own self. You need to be true to your own self. That what is it that I am today? Sometimes you will be surprised that you may have negative marks about your own self. So determine your starting point before you embark on your goals. The fifth step, determine why you want it. Now, this is a very important point of one of the steps, that if you want to set a goal, the logical question you must ask yourself is, why is it that I want to achieve this goal? Even organizational levels, even at the community level. Okay, we want to put in 100 bore wells, but why do you want to put bore wells? The more number of reasons you can come up with to achieve your goal, the more firm your desire will become to achieve that goal. Because the more number of reasons you can think of that why is it that I want this goal, the more desire you will develop in you to go for it. And the more desire you develop in you to go for it, the firmer your belief will become in achieving that goal. And once you determine, so you can write down all the reasons, as many reasons as come to your mind. For example, if you are a student, right? Okay, I want to get into medical school. Now I'm in, say, 12th standard. Now, in 1 year's time, I want to get into MBBS. Or I want to get into IAS. You know, this is the demand of the time also from our Muslim community, that we really find people, we encourage students to join the bureaucratic services field. Like we have IAS, IPS officers, we need people, we need students. Right? Okay, why is it that you want to become an IAS officer? You write down, why is it? Okay, now I want to become an IAS officer because, you know, I will have power. Okay, but why do you want to have power? You see now, the more reasons you can discuss. I want to have power so that I can implement many good things. Okay, why do you want to implement many good things? This is, you know, you can play it as a game also. It is called a why game. Generally in sales, people come up with it. Okay, we want to increase the sales, but why do you want to increase the sales? So that we can make money. But why do you want to make money? So go on reasoning and reasoning until you come to a point where you don't come up with any reason. Then you are doing this for that last reason of yours. This is like an archaeologist slowly brushing away the dust, what is in the rocks. So by asking why questions, you are becoming an archaeologist which that you are brushing the dust that is over your heart, right? To know exactly what is it, why is it that you are doing what you are doing. So determine why you want it. 6th step, set a deadline. Goals without deadlines are no goals at all. I want to lose weight, 10 kilos, but you don't have a deadline. You'll find out such a person, even after 15 years you meet him, his weight is still the same. So there is no deadline. So if you don't have a deadline, what happens? Right? You can't really know whether you're progressing or not. So set deadlines. And if the deadlines are too far, you can set shorter deadlines. And remember a metaphorical statement. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Now, don't tell me that we don't eat elephants, we eat only chicken and mutton. It is a metaphorical way of saying, right? How do you eat an elephant? That means if you have a big goal, break it down into smaller goals, smaller deadlines, and accomplish them within those deadlines. Identify the obstacles in your way. No matter where you are, no matter what goals you set, no matter in the what time of civilization you are living in, you will definitely face obstacles in the way to your goals. And you need to identify what could be these obstacles in my way. If I want to overcome my financial or if I want to increase my financial status from this many reals to these many reals by this year, okay, then what could be my obstacles in my way? So you need to identify, because, you know, it is said that the strength of a chain depends upon its weakest link. So the obstacle will determine the speed at which you will achieve your goal. The same thing happens in traffic. Let's take you have 50 kilometers to travel. You may travel 45 kilometers with full speed. But what happens when the 5 kilometers, when you're close to your house, is a bottleneck? It's a traffic jam phase. So all your time to reach your home is not just determined by how speed you drove those 45 kilometers. It depends on that 5 kilometers also that was a traffic jam. So your obstacles have to be overcome in order to achieve your goal. And you need to identify what those obstacles will be depending upon your goals. And determine the additional knowledge and skills you need. So every goal that you set may require a certain level of skills, a new knowledge for you to acquire. So determine the additional knowledge, and especially in the times in which we are living, where it is knowledge explosion and where one skill gets obsolete in few months' time. So it is a continuous process. We need to keep continuously growing ourselves. Otherwise, we will become obsolete. Remember, there is nothing called stagnant. Stagnant is an old word. You don't remain stagnant. You go back, right? Because, you know, when the water is stagnant, what happens? It breeds diseases. It never remains clean. So also, when you are when you're not growing, you are not stagnant, you are actually going back. So always determine what is that additional knowledge and skill you need in order to achieve your goal. Because many a times, the goals that you set may have to require a new skill for you to learn. If you have to increase your income, maybe you may have to take up a PMP examination. If your goal is to increase your income in your project management field. So you may have to go for an additional knowledge. You may have to develop an additional skill. So identify what is that skill that I need in order to come up to meet the goals. Then determine the people whose help you will need. This is also a very important step, because you can't achieve everything in your life alone. We need the cooperation of people. We need people who can help us, because our weakness may be a strength of somebody else. So we can't master all skills. So what will we do? We can hire, we can take the help, the strengths of somebody else. So we need to determine the people whose help you will need. For example, if you want to come up with, like for example, All India Islahi Center, when they coming up with 100 schools, of one of the goals they had, right? They definitely can't do everything sitting over here. They have to have some people out there who are working on the ground to help them in their projects. So if they fail to identify who these people are, no matter how good planning they do, no matter whether they know where they are, no matter what money they have, they will not be able to achieve their goals, because they need to identify who are the people whose support they need in order to get to meet their goals. And this is a community goal that we are talking of. So determine the people whose help you will need. Sometimes, depending upon your goals, among these 12 steps, you may not necessarily have to go for one step or two steps. You may not. You may eliminate one or two steps. For example, if you're a student and you have to read, say, a book in a month's time. Now, you don't necessarily have to determine the person who's going to read it for you. Right? So this is a goal, something that you have set for yourself, where you may not need somebody to help you out in this. But if you need somebody to get you a book which you cannot get, then definitely this step is coming into the picture. So depending upon the kind of goals that you are setting, right, determine the people whose help you will need. And when you know all these things, you will put it down together all into a plan. First of all, determine what is it that you really, really want, and what is the level of your desire that you want. You know your starting point. You believe that you can achieve it. The goal is more challenging for you. You know what knowledge and skills you have to acquire. You have set your deadlines and time blocks and schedules. You have determined what obstacles you have to overcome. You have identified the people whose support you need. So write it down in a full plan. And think about it. How many of us have really done such an exercise before? If we have not, then we can embark on this journey now of starting small, set a small goal and see how it comes up with. The 11th point is visualize your goal continually. Imagine that you've already got this goal. And psychologists say that visualization is a very powerful process. And it is said that almost all winners, whether they are athletes, Olympic winners or stage performers, they visualize their performance before they even perform it. So what happens when you visualize your performance, and then when you go on the stage for the first time, you are actually going on the stage for the second time. The first time is in your mind. So you are relatively more confident. So visualize your goals and see the goal coming through. So in this way, you'll develop a sense of confidence also. You'll start feeling good, provided your goal should be achievable and realistic. You know, I'm not getting into that smart, because all the smart characteristics have already come into it. And the last and the final step, never give up. Because once you set a goal with proper deliberation and planning, right, start with the mindset that you're not going to give up. Start with the mindset of patience and perseverance, persistence. Because when you start with this mindset, any obstacle that you come across, you will try to fight it out because you have a mindset of not giving up. As Ralph Waldo Emerson, he once said, when you persistently do a task, the task gets easy. Not that the nature of the task has changed, but your ability to do has increased. So never give up. So consistently start the goal with a mindset that I'm not going to give up, no matter what. There must be something wrong in my planning. I may adjust my plan. There must be something wrong in my deadline. Maybe I set a deadline too close. That's the reason why I was not able to meet the goal. So I may extend my deadline. So you can extend your deadlines, but never give up. Maybe you are not able to identify the right people to promote your project. So you may look out for other set of people, but never give up. Because when you start with the mindset of not giving up, you will find you'll try to find all possibilities of meeting your goal. So never give up your goals. So these are the 12 keys. And of course, we are not getting into clarifying values. That's a different workshop. So with this, 7 keys of goal setting and the 12 steps of goal setting, I hope that you will now embark on the journey of setting goals in your life. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. And a natural growth process, we all know, is that as a child, first let us learn to walk and then we shall run. And how do we learn to walk? Set small goals as a starting point. Don't take up a huge goal for the first time itself. My recommendation. You can, but my suggestion, take up a small goal and see in 1 month's time, are you able to achieve this goal? Or in a week's time, are you able to achieve this goal? So when you are able to achieve that goal, you see the level of confidence that you feel. So my dear fellow participants, right? I hope that I am able to convey these important points to you, the general principles of goal setting. And I sincerely hope that you will set your goals and will work towards them based upon these 12 steps and these 7 keys. What you can do is, as a small exercise, I'll give you my email ID. If you have a paper and pencil, you can write it down. My email ID is wisdomoutlined. Let me just share the screen here and then I'll write it down here. Do we have a text? Yeah. My email ID is wisdomoutlined@gmail.com. I'm sharing you this. I hope you all are able to see that, wisdomoutlined@gmail.com. You can write to me the goal that you have set. I suggest start with a small one, okay? And what steps you are taking and how do you feel after you have achieved the goal? Initially, try to set a 1-month goal. Okay, this is what, September, mid-September. So by mid of October, or let's take by the end of September. What is that goal that you can set, which you can achieve by the end of September? So try to set this goal, try to see what are the obstacles that you'll come across, work on it on your deadlines, and then you can write to me on this email your experience of goal setting. This will add to my knowledge of learning firsthand from you participants, and inshallah hope to hear from you all very soon. And I hope that I have added some value to the time that you have spent, and thank you very much for spending your time with me and with this organization. Over to you, Mr. Samir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Asghar. It was amazing, mashallah, very much structured and very much clear. Now I would request from the audience if there is any questions, any of our members who are attending this valuable program. If you have, kindly unmute one by one, and you can share your question with Brother Asghar.
You know, just to share with you all, everybody.
Yes, brother.
I'll stop this. Yeah. You know, if we don't have questions, I remember one of my professor telling me that you won't have questions under two circumstances. If you have understood everything what I have said, or you have understood nothing.
Yeah.
I hope it's the first one.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
And I also hope that, yeah.
We have a question from Brother Samir. He is saying that we are setting goals, but we can't take it for long term.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Yeah, he's saying that.
Asghar, the question is there already in the chat box.
Where is the chat box? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Can you tell, we are setting goals, but we can't take it for long term.
Yeah.
What do you mean we can't take it for long term?
The thing Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, sir.
My question is that, sir, we are putting so many goals, but we are not able to continue it. Sir. Sometimes we listen some speech, okay, tomorrow morning onwards, we want to wake up early morning, okay. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, it's going fine, good. But after 1 week, again, going back to the older previous stage. That's my question.
Let me first get to Mr. Samir.
He's the same one. He's the same one.
Oh, he's the same one. Okay. Yeah. How to achieve? You are saying that you are not able to go for the goal. The first thing is, you know, the problems when we come up with goal setting. There is a research done also, especially on an organizational level, that try to minimize your goals first. The problem with what even many companies do and even many people do is that we set a number of goals. 10, 15 goals at a time, right? Now, the research says that the lesser the number of goals you have, the more likelihood of you to achieve them. If your goals are 1 to 2 goals at a time, right, then the likelihood of you focusing on this 1 to 2 goals is more, and you may achieve more. So if you set 15 goals, your attention is getting divided in 15 different directions at the same time. So the likelihood of achieving your 15 goals will be very, very, very less. So minimize your goals. And a goal means here your focus. It doesn't mean that you stop doing other things. Don't get confused between doing other things and a goal. You may have to do so many things. But the thing is, your goal is something that you are consciously moving towards. So try to minimize this goal. Now, the brother who said that every morning he sets a goal to get up and then he does not, it happens 1 or 2 days, then he goes back again. Then the question comes, the 12th point, remember, be persistent, never give up. Try it out. Think. Why is it that the day when you did not get up, the following day, when you got up late, why is it that you were not able to get up on that day? Maybe you slept late. Maybe you ate too much. Whatever. I'm just giving you other things. So think on these 12-step lines now. What is that obstacle that you are facing that is stopping you from getting up early in the morning on particular days? I hope that gives you some insight into it. How to achieve a time management goal?
Excuse me, sir. Can I?
Sorry?
Brother Mushtaq, before you, we have one question from Mumtaz.
Excuse me, sir. This is Mushtaq. Can I?
One second.
Yeah, sure,
I just want to share. Sir, actually answer to your this feeling whether we understood or not why there is silence. Actually, sir, in real sense, I want to share my personal experience that you explain every point meticulously in such a way that there is no iota of doubt in understanding these things. Now, you rightly said, sometimes get drowned in having many goals together. So thank you for this sharing this, that we have to minimize our goals.
Thank you.
Thank
this
you,
is
sir.
a research also. This is a research also, Brother Mushtaq.
Asghar, there is another question in the chat box.
Okay. I see that. Thank you very much. Is that the question?
No, it's before how to achieve the time management goal.
So now it's, oh, well. First of all, who asked this? Let me see. It makes very interesting for me. How to achieve a time management goal, Mumtaz Ali Khan, on a daily basis. In brief, if you can give some inputs. Okay. Now, first of all, Mr. Mumtaz Ali Khan, what is time management? And it's a workshop in itself, actually. And you definitely have a lot of techniques and calendars and all those things. But if you really, really want to understand what time management is, you know, it's time management is actually a misnomer. We can't manage time. What we manage is our activities, because time is the same for all. So time management, sticking to the term time management, the definition can be that organizing and executing around your priorities is time management. I hope that is very clear. I have spoken this in detail in Habit 2, Begin with the End in Mind, when we dealt with the workshop on 7 habits of highly effective people. That is, time management is organizing and executing around your priorities. Now observe every word that is being said in this. Organizing and executing around your priorities. Now the question is, how do you first determine your priorities? Because you will not be able to manage your time well if you do not know your priorities. What should come first? What is more important to you? What is not important to you? So first and the foremost thing, if you really want to work on your time management, don't work on your techniques, don't work on your calendars, don't work on your daily, weekly, monthly. Work on identifying what are my priorities. And your priorities are yours. It is only you who can determine what your priorities are. So once you identify your priorities, then most of the things will be set in place by you. The rest is only about your scheduling. So identify your priorities. How do you go about identifying your priorities? Identifying what your values are. What is it that you want to stand for? What is it that you really, really want in your life? Now, this is a subject in itself, an exercise in itself, which inshallah, we will come up with a lot of questions, maybe in a live seminar when we come up with, right? I hope. First, identify your priorities. Once you identify your priorities, then you will know what to do about it. Thank you. Hope that answers the question.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
We have dreams, we have goals, and we always have a lot of dreams, but we can't put action to reach the goals or dreams. We fail to act. We can't, as you said, for an example, every day I dream that tomorrow I have to wake up early 5 o'clock and do morning prayer, but I sleep until 8 o'clock. So, though we have dreams, goals, and objectives, we fail to put action for that. What is the reason?
Yes. The thing is, that's what I explained to you. What you have is dreams and wishes, right? Everybody has, you're very rightly said, that we have these dreams. But the problem is, maybe one of the reasons is that we must develop now the habit of writing it down. Why? Because psychologists, they explain that when you write down something, you develop a sense of commitment to that thing. Have you ever come across companies only talking about the mission statement? No, you will find that the companies always have written down their mission statements, right? Their mission statements are always written. They are not in the air. You see that?
Yes,
Mister? I don't get your name, right?
Nasser, Abdul Nasser.
Abdul Nasser, Mr. Abdul Nasser, right? It's
Yeah,
a very, very nice goal. It's a very aspiring goal. Get up early in the morning. But till now, you have only been dreaming of it, right? Now, maybe today what you can do is take a piece of paper and pen, sit down, spend 5 minutes and write down that tomorrow I'm going to get up at 5 p.m. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Then, now, you're not going to change overnight because, again, it's a subject in habits, right? That your habits don't get changed overnight. That yesterday you were like this and tomorrow suddenly you become an angel. It doesn't happen that way, right? But once when you write down, there's something happening in our brain as humans, right? The sense of commitment is taking place. Now you may also sit and think, spend 10 minutes. I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, but I have been dreaming all these things. Why am I not getting up? You see, why am I not getting up? What is that obstacle? You must have not thought about it. Why is it that you're not getting up? You know you're not getting up, but have you thought of why you're not getting up? Think, you must think, right? As an exercise, right? Now, I am not getting up because maybe till 12 o'clock, I am watching Ertugrul. I'm joking, yeah? For example, right? So now you know what that obstacle is, probably, right? So once you start doing this exercise, then maybe you may come closer to your goal and then you will come enhance and maybe inshallah, Allah will help you up in getting up in the morning, right? And maybe you have noted down my email, write to me how it goes. So I'll be too happy to know. Okay? Okay, Mr. Samir, are we continuing or are we stopping? It's time for Maghrib also.
Yes, inshallah, we will be ending our program now because it's just close to our Maghrib prayer. Inshallah, if any more questions, you are always welcome to contact any of us at All India Islamic Center. Even you can contact Mr. Askar also directly on his email, and Mr. Samir, myself, Muhammad Siraj, any of our All India Islamic Center members are available to be available in terms of whatever your requirements are for goal setting. And also just to tell you that next week, inshallah, we will be having our financial planning webinar, which is going to be from Rehbar Consultants from India, and we will send you all the information.
We have some issues.
Yeah, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. But you have some issues to your connection, Mr. Siraj.
Okay.
Yeah, it always fail.
Okay. Now is it, so next week we will be having our financial planning webinar and we will be sharing more information. So we are trying to make, at least 2 webinars in a month from starting from today. So thank you very much for joining with us. And inshallah, we are always available to answer your requirements if you have anything. Jazakallah khair, Brother Askar.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Brother Askar. You have given us a lot today. And this is a great starting point for all of us to achieve our dreams. As Brother Abdul Nasir said, that tomorrow morning.
Mr. Askar Khan from India or?
Yes, India,
yes,
Bangalore.
Thank you.
Which state of India?
India, Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay, nice to know that.
Thank you.
All right.
It was really wonderful talk. This is the
Thank
first
you very
time I
much.
see.
I would like to hear from you in my email regarding your sleeping. Thank you very much.
We'll get in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we will be closing.